This week on HoN Tour Weekly. DreamHack Winter 2012 is right around the corner. Who exactly are all these teams and what are our predictions? Jeppens is replacing Riser at DreamHack Winter 2012 for TT Esports. How will this affect them? We take a look at community polls as well as bold predictions for next week's DreamHack event. We sit down with star players Nova and Nox of Q Squad in our team spotlight. All of this and more coming at you with HoN Tour Weekly right now.
All right, welcome ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls to HoN Tour Weekly. That is right, you're tuning in to get your competitive Heroes of New Earth coverage here for the week. Of course, I'm Breaking CPK. Joining me is Dralph Amador, and we have plenty to talk about, including, well, there's this big event that's just around the corner. Besides HoN Tour, maybe you've heard of it, DreamHack Winter 2012 is next week. We're going to take a look ahead, Dralph. It's going to be a lot of fun today.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, this is the HoN Tour Weekly, but seeing how DreamHack is just next week and right around the corner, what better time to talk about it than just now? And it's going to be really exciting. I myself have been to 2 different DreamHacks. This will be my 3rd as a caster this time.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, the schedule is worked out so nicely. We'll talk a little bit more about that. The teams are awesome. It's a huge variety of teams and strategies, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
It is. It's going to be a blast. I mean, we're leaving less than a week from today ourselves. Many of the teams are as well. They're going to be leaving this weekend and start getting there, start their boot camping, start their LAN environment play together, and it is going to be so much fun with that event. So obviously, yes, a big portion of the show is going to be about previewing that, but as always with HoN Tour Weekly, we still got plenty more to talk about, including HoN Tour itself. Of course, the round of 16 losers bracket and the round of 8 winners bracket is going to be coming up later on in this week, and we'll be previewing that a little bit and going to kind of give our predictions and insight even on how we think that's going to play out. We have, of course, another top 5 segment. Always a lot of fun with those, so looking forward to that. And then even going to be doing another Trout Spotlight or Trout Seal of Approval. That's
Spotlight, yeah, Spotlight on me.
The Spotlight on this guy. No, your Seal of Approval. We're going to be talking about something else today. So, again, a great show ahead of us, guys. But before we get into any of that, Ralph, actually, you know what? I was thinking about it. There's several teams going to DreamHack, of course, 10 in total. Yep. One of the teams that we've been talking a lot about lately, even casted a bit lately, Q Squad. Yeah. Looking pretty good lately. So I figure, you know what? Let's go ahead and talk to Q Squad today. So let's go ahead and jump into Q Squad and our team spotlight. So I figure, you know what? Let's go ahead and talk to Q Squad today. So let's go ahead and jump into Q Squad. All right, so Q Squad, and we are actually going to be joined by 2 players. First off, the captain of the team. You know him, of course, Nova, going to be joining us, and Nox also going to be joining us, the star player on the team and excellent carry player. So Nova, Nox, how you guys doing?
I'm doing just fine.
Doing terrible. You interrupted our practice for this interview.
I'm sorry. My bad. I know you guys are preparing for DreamHack, so, well, you don't want to take too long here. I'll let you get back to that. But I do thank you for joining us, of course, and obviously we want to have you guys come on and get to know you guys even a little bit better. So I guess to lead things here, how are things going with Q Squad right now, would you say?
Well, we've been on a steady road of improvement, so it's going amazing in that regard. We started 2 months ago or something, and it's just getting better and better and better, not only in tournament results, but also in practice. We're improving so much, and chemistry has been coming a month ago or something, and it's only getting better and better. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, Nox, what about you? What is your perspective right now on Q Squad?
I can not much, but just agreeing with what Yash is saying. Like, I feel like we're on a steady road of improvement, and just feeling comfortable with each other. And we had a boot camp a few weeks ago, and everything has just been better and better. And I think everyone in our team is really comfortable with each other, and there's also a huge help when we want to improve our gameplay, that everyone likes each other and there's no drama in our team or something like that. And I feel like that's really unique with our team, and that's why personally I really like this team.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm sure that's been a big part in your guys' success. amongst other things. So, Nova, back to you. I mean, the Q Squad organization, this has obviously now been around a while for a little bit. It is more than just your team, though. As we've seen again in this HoN Tour event, there still are other Q Squad teams out there. You know, what is it like for you knowing that you I guess, is it safe to say that you kind of created this idea and now that it's really taken off in the level it has been?
Well, yeah, I initiated the idea and I created the whole thing basically. But at the same time, like there have been people that took over the entire thing. The QSCOT community, as I started it, it's not really my job anymore. There are people, really dedicated administrators, and such as Linux, Underline 42, Insomnia is still having a huge workload in that, and a couple other people who are working in the QSCOT community, adding new people, like working on the requests and making this a really amazing community, not just in terms of like in-houses and finding people for TMMing together, but also in finding teammates for new teams, for HoN Tour for especially now, of course. So I don't know, there are like 5 Q squads or something in this HoN Tour event, and I think it's just working out perfectly fine. That's exactly what I wanted. I wanted a place for people to get new teams together and join a tournament like HoN Tour.
Yeah. Sweet. All right, hey, I got a question specifically right, about the DreamHack event and your competition. So obviously, Nova, you've had great success in the past with teams like MSI, and you've won, what is it, 4 consecutive DreamHacks now. And now you're on a different team. How do you pitch yourself up against the other teams? Like, where do you see yourself lying as far as ranking? Do you guys see yourself going to the finals? Just talk a little bit about that.
We don't have expectations. Like, when we go into a tournament, we have goals. Every team has a goal. Every team wants to win. If you enter a tournament, you want to win the tournament. That's it. That's your goal. But expectations? Not really, no. I don't really like thinking too much about, okay, where do we end up? Are we going to go to the losers bracket? Are we going to take it in the end or not? We're just focused on this goal, and we're just working on achieving the goal. That's it. And we're not wasting any time on seeing and expecting where we might end up in the end.
Yeah. Again, it's obviously you yourself. In fact, we were just talking about before, and I gotta shout out this. I mean, I don't even know if there's necessarily a stat out there or anything that vouches for this. But you yourself are one of the few players in not only HoN but just game esports in general who has had the success level that you've had. 4 DreamHacks in a row. You personally that you've actually won. So to be 5, I mean, would be absolutely amazing, I'm sure. But again, we'll see. Yeah, go ahead, brush your shoulders off. You deserve it, Nova. I want to get Knox back in here, though, and actually kind of direct it towards you. Kind of a similar question, obviously, in the sense, though, this is, well, first off, is this going to be your first DreamHack, Knox?
Yeah, playing in the big HoN tournament, it is my first time, but I've been there, like, played the Swedish Championship last year. Okay. And, like, I live pretty close, like, an hour to drive there, so I've been, like, to DreamHack a couple of times, so it's not my first experience at DreamHack, but it's, like, my first experience in a great tournament.
Yeah. I think it's safe to say, and again, maybe your first experience, with the event, although Nova, just finished saying, maybe not too many expectations going into it, but you obviously are on a very quality team going into the event, and a team that no doubt has a very good chance, at least in my opinion, for the event. So what is that like for you? You kind of come from the other side of the spectrum where this is kind of a new experience overall for you. What are you expecting to get out of DreamHack?
Personally, for me, like, I think it's just a great opportunity for us, and like when we were like a new team and the way we were created to like even go this far, and like our main goal was always to get to DreamHack, but like it was just a goal, as Nova said. It's like it wasn't an expectation or something. So I think I'm going to DreamHack just being happy, and like obviously I want to win. Like I'm a competitive person, and like everyone in our team are. But I don't have any expectations. I just like look forward to it and think it's going to be an awesome event.
Yeah, it no doubt is. And how do you farm so well, by the way? We talk about you so much, Knox, as you being one of, honestly, easily one of the best carry players out there. I mean, how do you do it, man? What is your secret?
Like, I get this question quite a lot, actually, but like I don't even like know the answer myself. I tell it to a lot of people. I just kill the creeps, man.
He laughs and the gold numbers pop up and everything just kind of
comes
naturally happens.
I'm gonna answer for him.
Okay.
It's basically like that.
Oh.
He's farming on a lane, you know, and it doesn't matter if it would be tri-lane versus tri-lane. This guy sighs every time he misses a creep. I think that's his secret.
I've actually
He's
heard
ju-
that
he
from
just
other
gets,
people.
Yeah, he just gets mad when he doesn't get that one last in, and I think that's the secret.
Who's better?
yeah,
Who's better? You or Angry Testy?
Oh,
It's a pretty
I don't
big
e-
question.
Oh yeah, I don't even want to like compare myself to Nick Testy because
Alright.
like he's kind of a legend in esports generally, but
I have a follow-up
You know,
question. Oh, sorry, Nox.
yeah,
Oh, I was gonna
no,
say,
like go ahead.
I had a follow-up question on that as far as carry goes. I really actually like the strategy you guys have and the role assignments you guys have. Jonathan Fan plays a great suicide, and you play a wonderful carry. I've seen over and over. We watched you, and you just seem to be really, in my opinion, the most consistent carry player in the scene right now. And so I'm asking you, what do you think like your role is as a carry player for your team? Is it just farm, wait till the late game and then come in, or do you try to play a little bit more actively? Like, because for instance, when I see like Slicks play, he seems to like have a TP scroll on him very early, even if he's playing something like a Mage Bane in a safe farming lane. So what's your thought on your overall role in the game?
I think like when I look at my role and what I'm doing, like I'm really happy that I have my role because I think it's the easiest role. Like I consider me having the easiest job in the team. Like I'm so happy when like my team is carrying me. I feel like in the early and mid stage, and then I'm just like killing them with my items in the end. But about the activeness, like I always look at myself when I'm farming. Like if I'm gonna TP to a team fight, like I always have to value in like 1 second because I'm gonna lose a certain amount of gold, and I'm like my team is gonna maybe lose the fight.
Right.
So like that's just experience in my opinion, and I'm like in this team I'm gonna much better of it. Like before I joined Q Squad, and like I was pretty bad at that, like values, but like it just comes when you like you see when you're like gonna be available to help your team. But that's your experience in my opinion.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, that's very, very interesting way to spin it. So, by the way, just real quickly, we are joined by obviously Nova, as you can see on the webcam there. Also, Nox joining us here from Q Squad. He unfortunately doesn't have a webcam, but of course we'll get to see him at DreamHack, and we'll show him off plenty, I'm sure. So. Now, we actually had an article that was put up on HoNTour.com. It gave the community a chance, so you guys at home, to actually ask your own questions and about Q Squad and you know what they thought on some certain things. So I'm going to go ahead and take some of these questions, give some shout-outs as well. So the first question that I have right here is actually from Mega Beaver, of course from Pudge, so a fellow competitive player. He actually asks, this could be for both of you. We'll start with you, Nova. Who do you look forward to meet the most, maybe even again at DreamHack? Anyone?
Well, the most I look forward to is Mega Beaver, of course. I can't wait to see the guy again, obviously. But right after Mega Beaver, I'm really happy to see my Fnatic team again, like all of the players. I'm happy to see Trixie again. I'm happy to see the manager again, and all the friends I made during my time at Fnatic. And well, I'm looking forward to meet some of the competitive players, and yeah, and you guys, of course. And some of the S2 guys as well. I had really nice talks on the last stream, so I'm looking forward to that for sure.
Yeah, awesome. Nox, what about yourself?
I'm looking forward to meet every good player that I have like looked up to in the past, and just meet everyone because I haven't really had the opportunity before that. But I'm also looking forward to meet my fellow comrades, the Swedes, the Lion team that I've been playing a lot with. They're going there even though they're not participating in the big tournament, unfortunately.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, it really is an awesome collaboration with just all these HoN players, and especially with this time around, of course, we're getting Latin America, we're getting CIS, we're getting Southeast Asia, so it's going to be a collection of literally all over the world. Go ahead.
I'm super looking forward to seeing Orange again. I forgot them, because like last half a year ago was amazing. I'm really looking forward to seeing them again, for sure.
Last question for me is I guess, what's your take on the other teams that are in your group? I think it's MRR and the ones that you're not familiar with. MRR and
the VTI MSI Dynasty, I believe.
That's right.
It's part of their
Do you have any experience playing them? Do you know what kind of strategies they run? Because I personally don't know anything, at least about MRR. Like, I know nothing about them. Do you know anything about that?
We know them, we analyze them, we prepare for them.
Awesome.
Yes, is the simple answer. Yes. That actually brings up a good point. You know, we happened to mention this on a recent cast. Of course, we've covered you guys a couple times recently. And, you know, we made the point from wherever I heard and Troffer, you know, you guys seems like you even have a coach out there or manager or somebody that does research for you guys. I mean, do you want to clarify that as far as what your preparation is like for getting ready for opponents?
Milan Insomnia Stankovic, our coach and manager, he came with the QSQ project, and he kind of just wanted to see if he can help out on that project because he really liked the idea. That was the basic thing where it started. But the more time passed, the more it kind of became clear that he wants to be involved more. And we saw the qualities of that person. He's a sick mastermind. He's a really, really smart, intelligent guy. And he's highly analytical, and he brought so many things to the table that we figured at some point, okay, we let you work with us for now. And then after a couple more weeks, we actually realized this guy will be a huge, valuable asset to the team. And so he's the sixth player in that sense in the team. He's the coach, the manager. He will take part in the prize money and everything as a normal player because he's been doing so much for us. And he's one of the major aspects why we improved so much. He's watching all our games. He's watching our opponents. He's doing so much for the team. He's analyzing everything and telling us you can improve this, you can improve that. And he's just like, I don't know, what I'm doing with coaching for players that pay for it, he's doing it for the entire team. And even though he might not be the sickest player himself, so because of mechanics, he's, as I said, he's a really smart person. So he can point out everything, and he knows HoN through and through. So that's his role, basically.
That's awesome. I mean, talk about being unique in that sense, too. I mean, I think it's safe to say no one, at least to that level, goes to that. But, again, as you're even stating there, I'm sure that's part of your success.
It's like you don't have to be really necessarily the best player to be a smart player. It's the same thing as like as regular coaching in regular sports.
Yeah.
You know, Phil Jackson's probably not the best basketball player right now, but damn, he sure knows a lot about the game.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
Yeah, and it is the same with some Asian Dota 2 teams and also some Asian HoN teams, I think, and for sure also League of Legends. They have coaches. There are people that are sitting behind their teams, and they're having an influence on the team. They're keeping them calm when things go really heating up or whatever, and he plays that role. So we might be the first EU or an A team or whatever that I'm in. Yeah. But it's not the first in esports, of course.
Yeah. So you froze for a little bit there, but you came back, so we got you.
Yep.
It's all good. Yeah. So that is very interesting. Do you have something else, Troll?
Oh, no.
Okay.
I got nothing.
There was obviously want to move on here, but there was definitely one more question though that I thought was kind of interesting. This was asked by Yumsticks here from the questions, and he was actually wondering. What in your guys' opinions, what do you think mostly influences changes within the metagame for competitive heroes and newers? So again, Nova, we'll start with you on that.
With me again, okay. One team starts playing a hero, everyone starts playing the hero because you're forced to. Like, the competitive scene is so small that you're going to meet each other frequently in tournaments and whatnot. There are very few teams we haven't met recently in the last weeks. So if somebody starts to pick up Kinesis and play it all the time, then you need to at least pick it up once or twice yourself and figure out how the hero works and how you play against it. And that's the only way heroes get integrated into the competitive scene, I feel. There are heroes like Nymphora. People haven't played it for a month or so, and then it gets nerfed, and suddenly people start picking up Nymphora because someone figured out how it works. So it has nothing really to do with balance patches or something. It's just a team actually putting in the dedication to try out a hero, not just in TMM games, but in scrims, and then the others having to react to that.
Yeah. Great answer. Nox, what about yourself?
Personally, I think the meta game changes comes when people have the courage to try new things and really sit down and think about heroes that are not played. Like, there's a lot of heroes, you just look at them and you think like, this hero is not viable in this metagame. But like, you can change the metagame by just trying new heroes and just seeing them in action. And I think it's courage that takes the metagame to a new level.
Yeah, like Voodoo Jester. Seen.
Or Dark Lady.
Or Dark Lady.
Next summer.
That's true.
Trash, man.
Yeah, that is true. It definitely helps bring him on or bring her on. So, all right. Well, again, obviously, there was actually one more thing. you guys just made a recent, or well, within even in the last hour, a couple hours, there's a breaking news announcement here. So I'll let you take it, Nova. There is a post about it on the competitive section forums for HoN, but about you guys just picking up a sponsorship, at least for the DreamHack event. So you want to quickly give your take on that, what that is about?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for the opportunity. We picked up a sponsorship deal now for this very event, even though there's an opportunity that we will get sponsored by it as well in future events by GameFAQT. Jönköping Netcafé, or probably probably the best in Netcafé in Jönköping, I dare say, because I've been there myself, so I tested things out. And we will get sponsored by them for this event, and they provide a lot for everyone who goes there, basically. Like, they have really good computers, they have really nice workers there, and huge shout out to them. Really a huge thank you for making this possible. It's really amazing, and I'm totally looking forward there to arrive there Saturday and start scrimming and boot camping and practicing for DreamHack.
Awesome. GameEffect.se is the website, actually. So definitely check that out. And hey, if you're in Sweden, stop by the LAN Center. So yeah, so again, congratulations on that, and obviously congratulations on all your success recently. I'm sure there's still plenty more to come, including with DreamHack. We'll see what happens there. Any last second shout-outs here you guys want to make? Again, Nova, we'll start with you.
Start with Pontus for once.
Okay, we'll start with Nox. Be different.
Okay, I'll start this one. Actually, I just have one shout-out that I promised a friend, Slate, that actually is a 6th player, just an awesome guy. He's actually streaming a lot recently, and he's just a good guy. I just want to shout out to him.
All right.
Yeah.
Nova, your turn.
Twitch TV/Slate TV. That's his Twitch, and he's been doing a lot for us as well. Like, he always steps up. I don't know where he takes the time, because he has a lot of real life as well, but he's always there when we need him, when one of our players can play. So huge shout out for him for sure. Other than that, no shout-outs for now, other than to GameFAQT SE, of course. But please follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and that would be facebook.com/papamalle for Malle, Nox Frost with 2T for Mr. Pontus here, support Nova for me, and Cristiano Style Noviello for Style, and Jonas Sampan for Jonas Sampan. Thanks, and, well, I would say, see you at DreamHack.
I love this guy. All right, thanks again, Nova and Nox, for joining us. Of course, guys from Q Squad, really appreciated it. And again, we'll be seeing you guys at DreamHack. So with that said, guys, going to continue on, and, well, let's actually move into the rundown here. All right, so welcome back here. So again, awesome guy indeed. I really do look forward to seeing Nova there at DreamHack. Always a lot of fun, and I really do feel that their chances might not be that bad. I think that they do have a solid chance to actually make something happen. So on that note, of course, with DreamHack winter around the corner, coming up next week, a lot of this show, as we said from the beginning, well, we're going to be talking about DreamHack, baby. Let's go ahead and preview a little bit here and give our take personally on how we think things are going to play out. Sure. So first things first, just a quick explanation of how the format actually works. Obviously, there's been plenty of qualifying events, not only from the North American European region, but from CIS, from Southeast Asia, from Latin America. They all have had their own qualifying events. And so here we are with 10 of the top teams in the world from Competitive Heroes of New Earth going to be meeting up in Jönköping, Sweden. There's going to be two group stages, so 5 teams in each group. The top 2 from each group will then advance on to the semifinals. They play best of the 3 from there. And then, of course, the winners of those semifinal matches meet in the grand final. So it's fairly simple, but just a general idea of what we're looking at, Trelf.
Yeah, it's going to be good, man. A lot of good teams. And the thing about this DreamHack, I think, too, in comparison to other DreamHacks, is I feel like teams – and you got to attribute HoN Tour to this especially, is that teams are practicing more. And with obviously HoN Tour qualifiers going on right before DreamHack, what better time to practice than through the HoN Tour matches? Yeah. And I think that makes it a little bit more exciting. It makes it a little bit more climactic. That teams are practicing constantly, trying out new things, as Nova was talking about. And I think that's the coolest part about DreamHack coming up.
You're right. I mean, it meshes in so well together. I mean, it seems like sometimes we were a little bit down as far as content goes, as far as the amount of matches that are actually happening. But then it also happens where we just have, oh my God, we have an amazing amount of matches to cover, and we just have all this content coming out. Obviously, really these last couple of weeks, and going to be going on for months even. Yeah. Well, there's going to be plenty. I mean, there's going to be plenty of competition going around for the players. There's going to be plenty competitions to watch as spectators. So that's obviously going to be all awesomeness. So that's kind of the format right there. Remember, also it's a $60,000 prize pool. $60,000 is on the line, guys, as far as these 10 teams and what they're competing for. I believe it's $32,000 is first place. So a lot of money. And then, of course, there's a prestige of being the DreamHack champions. We'll have I don't know why I'm doing this. We'll have a new champion, the double. We'll have a new DreamHack champion, Trell.
I got you hooked, man.
You do. I don't know what it is,
this
man.
This is the next thing.
It's all from last week in that segment.
Yep.
We're going to have a new DreamHack champion for the first time.
It's inevitable.
Fnatic is not playing. It's impossible for them to win.
I'll go first. I think Complexity is going to take it. I know I'm going to go out on a limb there. No, they just... I will say, though, that of all the teams kind of practicing right now, okay, they have been kind of practicing a lot more in the last couple days or week or so, but I know TDM has been practicing a lot. Like, if you look at their recent matches and their public games, a lot of scrims in the last couple of weeks, like something like 20 games or something like that. It's crazy. So they're really taking this seriously. I'm expecting really great things out of them, especially because in the last couple of matches we've casted of them, or in just the last scrims I've been watching personally, they've been doing strategies that I think really work. And on top of the strategies that work for them and that work in the metagame right now, they're trying new things, which is great leading up to a big event like this. Yeah. You know what? Actually, let's take a quick look at the groups, actually, if we do have that for you guys. But as we talked earlier, the groups are what we're going to be dealing with. So from Group A, as you see on your screen right there. So Group A, of course, that consists of Complexity, Gary Johnson 2012, Orange Esports, Cats Gaming, and Pain Gaming. So those are the 5 teams over there. At Group B, Trell. TT Esports, of course, Trademark Esports, Q Squad, Team MRR, that's the Thai team, and then VTI MSI Dynasty, another one of those Latin American teams. Yeah.
So there's kind of a breakdown of the groups that we're looking at. So obviously you have to try to, think about which teams are going to be moving on, not only from each group, but then, how they can match up, and then, of course, going into the grand final. So the top 2 from each group moving on, it'll be the 1 seed from Group A against the 2 seed from Group B, and then 2 versus 1, kind of that teeter-totter there, whatever.
Yep.
So that, anyways, so yeah, that's how it's going to match up going into the semifinals, and then of course the grand finals, which could literally be any team against any team. So that's definitely looking forward to being awesome. So you think Complexity, you do have your little wager on the line of all this, maybe.
I did just recently get a haircut.
Disappearing.
Trial Fair swag.
Trial Fair swag. 2012.
No, but they're looking really good. If we're talking about the groups. I don't know if we're going to be talking about that a little bit more after this, but, obviously I think in Group A, Complexity is looking damn good. I think it's pretty crazy not to think they're going to move on. But also Gary Johnson and Orange Esports are, to me, the next contenders. And I know a lot of people maybe might favor Gary Johnson 2012, and they've been practicing a lot too. But I will say Orange Esports, while right now I do think that they're actually the weaker team of between those two, I got to agree with Nova and think that they actually perform a lot better on LAN. They really do. I just think that the latency really gets to them when they're playing on all these, US West, US East servers. But when we're at that LAN setting and their ping is, 50 or less or whatever, the talent comes through. It really shines there. Yeah. Their strategy is a little quirky at times. I mean, sometimes they're spot on. And I see a draft, I'm like, oh, they're going to win this because the strategy's already there. They have their heroes. They have the talent. That's no question. So if they have the strategy to go with that talent, I think they could actually easily take a spot out of that Group A.
Yeah, as you saw in the roster there, and again, the big thing to keep in mind is WTF. I mean, this is a player that even has a little bit more experience for the team, especially when it comes to a LAN environment for these guys. So he no doubt is going to help them big time when it comes to DreamHack Winter 2012. So you're right. I mean, and in just a little bit, we're going to take a look at also what the community thinks as far as who's going to be moving on from each group. But yeah, you look at both groups. Okay, being realistic. Obviously, we got the big dog teams. We got your Complexity, your Trademark. Really all the North American, European teams. The ones that I like to look at are the the Southeast Asia, the CIS, Latin American teams because I'm a fan of underdog and a fan of maybe seeing some surprises. I think of course Orange has to be the one that obviously we really look at. But let's also take a look at this Team MRR. I always get confused. It's not MMR. It's Team MRR. And actually, as you can see on the roster right there, all right, we have absolutely no clue who these players are. Right. I might as well get practice here. Chitawan, 07T, Never Say, Dior's, and KSSA.
That wasn't so hard.
That wasn't actually that difficult. It was a lot more intimidating looking at it initially. But so those are the 5 players right there. So that's, of course, they qualified. They're from Thailand, actually.
Yep.
as you saw, and they're one of the 2 teams out of Southeast Asia joining Orange Esports. So Team MRR, I've been hearing great things about them. I've even heard that they've actually give competition and even have beaten Orange in scrims even over there on the Green Alliance. So maybe this is a team that we have something to look out for, Trout, or I don't know.
Yeah, I tried to look, honestly, actually at one of their games that they played recently, I think in the qualifiers for DreamHack. But the quality was so horrible, I literally couldn't see anything, unfortunately. But they were drafting some somewhat standard things if you look at the metagame compared to the North American and EU clients. And they did pick, I want to say they picked a lot of Soul Stealer. And they went Ring of the Teacher M. I thought that was kind of cool because you never see Ring of the Teacher on Soul Stealer. And you don't really see Soul Stealer that often anyway. But they picked them up a lot. And actually, as we were looking through the bios of MRR and this little fancy books we have, we actually saw that their favorite played was Soul Stealer. So
yeah, interesting.
But
yeah.
I was kind of hoping that that Nova, when we had him on, would kind of allude to some of the strategies that he has. He said they know, but didn't want to give any strategies away.
He's not telling us. There's no way. I mean, he has his own plans. He wants to keep that to himself and, use that for themselves. Don't want to help out the other teams. I mean, it's understandable. It is kind of unfortunate, though. But, yeah, this is, out of all the teams, Team MR is no doubt the biggest question mark. I mean, apparently, again, from what we've heard, I mean, the skill's definitely there to an extent, but no doubt in the end, when it's all said and done, as we criticize really a lot of these, international teams, especially Southeast Asia, like specifically with Orange, it's a case of, is a strategy there? Is the hero picks there? Right? So, whether or not they're going to be in tune with the meta game that it works with the North American European scene is going to be is yet to be determined, really. And obviously, we'll get those answers at DreamHack. So. Yep. Big question marks there. Another team to look at, actually, that I'm very also intrigued by is Cats Gaming. Cats Gaming, and the big reason for me on this is because they were actually very close to qualifying for the previous DreamHack. Instead, though, they lost in the finals. I was actually very surprised. We just figured it was going to be Cats, but all of a sudden, Team GA beat them. Yeah, it was an upset. Obviously, Team GA didn't have the greatest results at the previous DreamHack. But Cats Gaming, this is a team, as you can see there, Shyla Styles, Quakes, FF, Scorpion, and Zerta. Again, those players, nothing really standing out as far as recognizable names too much. But, interested to see what they bring to the table, figuring that they were supposed to be last DreamHack, but there's a lot of quotations today. But obviously going to be going to this one, so, again, another case.
I don't know anything about them, unfortunately, either. I know even less about them than I do MRR, so I have really nothing to comment on them. But hopefully, for the other team's sake, they have done a little bit of the research because you can't come into DreamHack sloppy. Yeah, you really can't. So
yeah, and obviously, that's on them, of course. Find any information they can, from whether it's match or replays
and
or.
I will say too, I don't know what Cats Gaming or any of the teams for that matter, what their accommodations for boot camping are, whether they've already booked out some LAN centers. Because I know when we went in DreamHack Summer, all the LAN centers around were already booked for not just Heroes of Newerth, but other games as well.
Yeah.
And so, but I know that there's a ton of scrimming going on actually before the event. And so I'm sure teams will pick up some ideas and strategies of what every team does.
Yeah, plenty. So, and then the last two teams really to talk about, maybe even clump them together, but the first one is VTI MSI Dynasty. Now, this is one of the 2 Latin American teams, of course, that qualified against, as you can see on your screen, we're dealing with Tail69, Merkit, Vestius, Overmuse, and Make It With You. There you go. That's the roster for VTI MSI Dynasty.
Mr. Kit.
Merkit.
Mr. Kit.
Mr. Kit. Was it that?
I just assumed it was Mr.
Kit. It probably is. Anyways, it's always fun reading new names like that I'm somewhat unfamiliar with. But again, they were the ones. I believe that they were the runner-up in the Latin American qualifiers, but it was in the end decided that originally it was going to be a Korean team as well. Yeah. But Korea did end up dropping out kind of last minute, so we decided to actually take a second Latin American team, and thus, we have them as well as the other one, but. Any chances for these guys?
I think they actually have a slight chance. And I will say for a lot of these teams, almost every single team in this event, they really do have the talent. I've seen these players play, and I know what their individual skill up there. It's all high for all these teams. It's just a matter of honing a strategy that works and understanding the metagame, knowing what heroes. Okay, you can maybe try out a bunch of different heroes, but coming into the event. Last minute, unless you've been practicing something for a long time, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
I mean, Darkly's pretty damn strong. You know, Draconis is strong. Ophelia's strong. Junglers work. Find the things that work and maybe, you know, put a little twist on them. But don't try something crazy. Unfortunately, I do see some of these teams like VTI Dynasty try some stuff that just simply doesn't really work in the metagame right now. So as far as, you know, skill and talent goes, they've got it. But if they can hone that strategy, then I think they have a better chance.
Yeah. All right. So, and then the other Latin American team, of course, Pain Gaming. Again, I believe they were the ones that actually won the Latin American qualifiers. Now, this roster, you know, stands out a little bit more. We're dealing with Pride, GST, Unit, Kingrid, and Goblin. I believe one of those is supposed to be Yo-Yo Balls.
Yeah.
I know he changed his name. I forget exactly which one it is, to be honest. But I know one of those is supposed to be him.
It better, because I gotta say I'm excited to meet Yo-Yo Balls. Out of everyone coming to DreamHack and going to DreamHack, I am most excited to see Yo-Yo Balls.
Yeah,
and his legendary. I remember one time in in-house he went Helm of the Black Legion Bubbles, and we thought it was hilarious. And like, what the hell are you doing? He went Bloodbath.
Good players, though. I mean, so
he's a riot, man.
Yeah, him and Pride is another player that, you know, some people may recognize as, all right, you know, we've actually seen him before and, you know, been involved on the scene. And, I mean, so it sounds like you actually played with a couple of these guys in the past. I mean,
a lot of them used to play on the in-client until the Latin American got their own client, of course. And I do believe that they are allowed to play on the in-clients to practice and scrim with the other teams and whatnot. But, yeah, I'm familiar actually with a lot of the members of, well, both of the Latin American teams.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So, again, those are the 5 non-North American European teams there to kind of preview. So, I guess, you know what, let's go ahead and actually, though, move on to our next part here. And actually, as you can see, you know, being the community polls, we actually released an article, I think it was later on last week even, where we had you, the community, gave you guys a chance to vote yourselves on a couple of questions concerning DreamHack winner. And, you know, we figured we'd take the time here to obviously not only give those results, but even give our own opinions on what we think of each of the questions. So the first one that I think kind of makes sense to start with, speaking of all these international international, that's a funny way to say it, but the Southeast Asian, the Latin American, and the CIS teams. So the first question was actually, which non-European North American teams, so those 5, actually has the best chance of moving on, or doing the best, even, is how it was worded. So as you can see by the results on your screen, Orange Esports decided favorite. I can't say I'm too shocked about that one, and honestly, that's what I would have to give myself as far as the option. But, you know, obviously the other teams getting some votes thrown in there, but in the end, Orange Esports pretty much the overwhelming favorite out of those 5 at least.
I wonder if VTI MSI Dynasty is number 2 just because they have the MSI name in there.
People saw MSI, they're like, oh, those guys, I've heard
MSI,
good.
I've heard they were really good, weren't they?
Yeah.
But I agree, too. I mean, Orange Esports, I will say, though, you know, we don't really know that much about MRR, and I've heard good things. I've heard good things, so I'm really excited to see them. Probably play the most out of anybody else. Yeah,
and again, I think that's kind of the unfortunate thing. With a poll like this, it's great to obviously get all these opinions and everything and get the community involved, but in the end, we just don't know enough about some of these teams, and, you know, the information isn't out there, and Orange Esports is no doubt the most popular out of those 5, so I'm sure, you know, that could definitely, but for good reason. I mean, they probably do have the best chance, let's be honest. And again, I think that for both you and I, we kind of agree on that as well. But yeah, we'll see what the other teams bring to the table. So, so as far as that one goes, there you go. The next one in line. So now we kind of break down by each group. So as we showed you earlier, the how the groups are looking going into DreamHack. We'll start with Group A here. Which 2 teams do you think are going to be moving on? Is what we asked. Before we show the results, I figured we'd go ahead and give our own personal takes.
Go ahead first.
So Group A, who was that? That was Complexity, Gary Johnson, Orange Cats, and Pain. Was in that group. I personally have Complexity and Gary Johnson 2012.
Okay.
Again, I think that is kind of a safe answer, but again, for good reason. As much as I do like Orange and expect some good things out of them, I just don't know if they're going to be strong enough to get past those 2.
I agree with you. I don't think Orange. I mean, I think Orange does. I will say it's going to be close between. I think without a shadow of a doubt, Complexity will move on. Gary Johnson, I definitely think that they will move on, but that's not to say that Orange Esports might not have a chance as well, because they do play differently on LAN. Yeah. And of course, as Nova was mentioning, it's a LAN setting is much different. The nerves can sometimes get the best of some players. And but yeah, I do agree with you. I do think that Gary Johnson and Complexity will move on.
Yeah, so let's actually take a look at the results right here of what the community ended up deciding. as far as this question goes. And seems like they're agreeing with look at that Gary Johnson logo. That's actually shout out to Killer Orange for that custom design there. So
I'm actually surprised how close they got. They're creeping up to complexity.
Yeah,
52% and 39%.
Well, again, these are which 2 teams. You got to vote for 2 teams. So
okay.
Yeah, so that kind of makes sense when you look at it that way. But Orange Esports, they got a fair amount overall. 8% as you can see right there. But in the end, Gary Johnson and complexity, again, the big time favorites. I would love to be surprised. Obviously, Cats Gaming and Paint Gaming, they are there. They're kind of those teams that are obviously the underdogs and kind of in the background of, hey, what about us? They got some votes, but obviously, again, it's not surprising.
Got to prove yourself.
Exactly. Got to prove yourself on the big stage, and, well, here's your chance, guys. That's for sure. So, all right, so there's Group A. And, speaking of complexity, obviously, let's actually just quickly go over, again, who's on complexity? I totally forgot.
I forgot, too.
That's right. Oh, there we go. B-Kid, Franzi, Haxerin, Moon Meander, and Chessie. So as you can see right there, that's the international team. That is complexity.
I think they're pretty decent. I may have played 1 or 2 times with them in TMM. And I think maybe one of them was feeding, but, the other one guy was okay. They're decent.
Maybe. Any names? Any names you want to get?
Franzi, big feeder.
Okay. There we go.
I don't know. I'm not just making stuff up.
We love you, Franzi. I swear. Gary Johnson, 2012. Let's quickly take a look at actually them, and of course remind you who is on their roster. Swindle Melons, whatever you want to call him. Kyle, Sender, Kazoo, Skyzo, and Z-Freak. Every time I look at this roster, honestly, Skyzo's the one that really stands out to me. Obviously, Z-Freak's one of being brothers. Sender, an American player himself, has been around the scene for a long time. Kazoo as well. But Skyzo kind of just came back, and it seems like, obviously he's a great player. But he's the one that kind of stands out to me on this team that maybe doesn't get the recognition that he even deserves.
I think he is primarily their suicide role player. Yeah. And he does play very well. He's a very consistent player. And I will say that the communication for that team is up there. They communicate well. They try to identify their problems and get through them and try. They're innovative, too, and that's fun to watch. It's fun to watch new heroes and strategies that aren't the norm and seeing it work. So
it is. So, again, Gary Johnson, 2012. So them and complexity are the favorites out of Group A. We'll see when it's all said and done how that plays out at DreamHack. So how about from Group B now? As far as Group B, and again, the teams that we're looking at, Q Squad, TT Esports, Trademark Esports, VTI MSI Dynasty, and Team MRR. Now, this is an interesting one because obviously you got some story topics. We'll talk about that a little bit later on, but with TT Esports and their last-minute decision, unfortunately, with having to replace Riser with Jeppins. Yeah. Maybe that swayed some votes, I'm sure. Me, it did. I actually ended up choosing Trademark Esports and Q Squad as the 2 teams that are going to be moving on at Group B. I love TT Esports, but I think that is going to hurt them to an extent.
Yeah, and I will say that this one is a little bit more divided. I think the 3 teams, 3 of these teams in this group are arguably much closer than the teams in Group A. And even before Riser announced that he's not going to be able to make it to DreamHack, and I love all the members of TT Esports. I really do. They're all great guys. And they're all very high, individual skilled players. I still would have given it to Trademark and Q Squad. I think the Trademark and Q Squad just understand the meta just a little bit more, and they have strategies that are just a lot more strong. They really, in my opinion, and they're taking it, I think, a little bit more seriously. But that's not to say nothing can happen. As Nova mentioned, Slicks is a beast on land.
Oh, yeah.
I've watched this guy play. And, when he's playing all the time from Australia, the ping does make a difference, guys. It does make a difference. And not only just that, I just think he's more comfortable in a land environment for some reason.
Yeah.
And not to say that it doesn't perform well off land, but he's really fun to watch in particular.
We'll see if he's sick this time.
Yeah, I know. He's been sick both DreamHacks that I've seen.
Still has been absolutely insane.
And the other thing, too, to mention is for all of those teams involved, there's a number of players on all those teams. And, well, and the teams in Group A as well that don't have that LAN experience, or at least don't have very much LAN experience. And I do think that nerves can get the best of you. So,
yeah, we'll see. Obviously, with TT Esports, you got Moravis and Jeppins even, being in the last-minute addition. So, not the most LAN experience. Let's take a look at the actual results, though, of what the community decided as far as the 2 teams that they think are going to be moving on. And as you can see on your screen, look at that. Disagreeing with us to an extent. Trademark Esports and TT Esports are the overall favorites by the community. Now, it was close. I mean, Q Squad definitely up there at 24% themselves. But in the end, TT Esports and Trademark are on top. course, VTI, MSI Dynasty, and TMMRR, again, a case of they're kind of those underdogs there.
Now, what if the poll said which 2 teams will advance from Group B if Voodoo Jester is banned or not picked? Then I think Q Squad would have been.
I think Q Squad way through the roof. It would have been 110% somehow.
Sorry.
all the way up the screen.
Sorry, I had to.
This is all real.
You can't even see it. It's infinity, guys. It's infinity.
Yeah, so the results right there, as you can see, kind of interesting. But again, the community is showing that they're rooting for Trademark Esports. Or not even necessarily rooting for, but think Trademark Esports and TT Esports are going to be the favorites. I mean, honestly, I could also see, some people that voted for TT Esports and Q Squad maybe left Trademark out. I wouldn't be surprised if several people did that. So really, those 3 teams, though, I think Group B is, the more question mark, or not even question mark, but more, even up in the air, yeah, as far as those 3 teams go compared to Group A at least. But
and all the matches they play are best of 2s, right? And then it's a point system.
Great point to bring up. Yes, I don't even think we talked about that. So in the group stages, it is going to be best of 2, static 2, whatever you want to call it. They're going to play 2 games against each other, and then that's it. So even if they finish 1-1, it doesn't matter. You move on to the next series, and then at the end, you just add up your overall record. So obviously, you play a total of 10 matches.
Now, if you go 2-0, is that 3 points or is that just 2 points?
I don't believe it's 3 points. I believe it's just standard.
Whatever game you win, you get that point.
It's basically records and then a point for a win. Exactly.
Sure.
So. Again, yeah, I would have to confirm with that, actually. I'm not 100% certain on that, but I believe that's how it goes. So
sweet.
In the end, that's what we'll figure out. So, again, 10 no, that's 8 matches. I was wrong. 8 matches for each team because there's 5 teams in each group. So 8 matches individually total, 2 against each other team. So after the 8, we'll see which the top 2 teams are. So, and then, well, there's the ultimate question. There's the final question.
What's it going to be? What's it going to be?
Which team is going to win DreamHack Winter 2012? Trouf, I'm very interested to hear your answer.
Cats.
All of them. Come on, that's
complexity.
Yeah.
They just they're just a much stronger team, in my opinion, than all the teams right now. They know what works. They don't play stupid. That's the bottom line. They don't play stupid. They don't throw away games. When they have a lead, well, I've seen maybe 1 or 2 times, but very rarely do they throw games. They just play very, very safe and very tight. And on top of that, their drafting, he really understands what works. And I think his strategy overall in lockpick is simply don't screw yourself. It's not anything, I think, crazy or innovative. I think it's just simply, I don't want to get screwed. I don't want to be left with something like a rally picked up in that lock pool to be last picked. So we're going to make sure that we pick safe. We're going to put all those suicide heroes, all those junglers in that pool so that we can open up our roster, our drafting, to have a very safe and consistent lineup. And it works for them. It works. What do you have?
For me, I'm going curveball. I'm going different.
Oh.
I think Q Squad. I think Q Squad is going to win it all. That is my. Who said I agree? Was that you? That was okay. I was like,
Killer
you
Orange
agree? Wait a
is
second.
up in the conversation.
Killer Orange joining us now, giving his opinion. No, so apparently Killer Orange agrees with me. So he too. So it's 2 against 1, Trouf. Obviously we're right. No, I'm falling for Q Squad, man. The more I watch this team, the more we talk about this team, the more I really do like them.
If I had to choose number 2, it'd be them.
Okay. So you think that could be a possible finals match?
I just think they're very, like, when I watch, especially after the interview today with Nova, and then just watching them lately, they seem very disciplined. Like they try to actively fix what's going wrong, as he was talking about, and I just like their strategy. Like they seem very disciplined. I will say from time to time I see some weird tri-lanes from them that I just feel like on paper it's like it doesn't seem like it works, and maybe that's because we've been casting some HoN Tour qualifier matches where they're playing teams that maybe aren't really up to their caliber. That could be one thing, or maybe they're just simply saving some strategies for DreamHack. I know that it's a very common strategy to use among lots of teams. So, but I will say if I had to give a team a number 2 spot, it probably would be Q Squad.
Exactly, kind of as you're talking about there. I just think that the preparation is not to be underestimated. I mean, this is the most prepared team, no doubt, going into an event like this in my mind. And from the as you talked about, the friends that they have that help them do the research on as that are even part of the team to an extent, on all these rosters. Like you said, I'm sure from them especially, we're going to see some innovative strategy. Something tells me at DreamHack that it's going to totally blow our mind, and we'll be like, holy crap, that's amazing. I'm expecting it. So we'll see. Yeah. We'll see if they deliver. And Nova, 5 DreamHacks in a row as a result of my predictions. So,
what about TDM and Gary Johnson? What do you think?
Well, now that's interesting because Gary Johnson 2012, I do think that they, as far as skill goes, this is a team that no doubt can compete for the title. I just feel like, they're one of the, I think out of the 4, they're the youngest team. Out of them, Complexity, TT Esports, and Q Squad, and I guess even Trademark. So even out of those top 5, they're the youngest in the sense that they're the most newer team. I guess if you maybe match them up with TT Esports to an extent with their rosters and everything, but
well, I think that's what's going to hurt TT Esports the most.
Yeah,
is the fact that
true.
They're using 2 members right now. Jeppins and Moravis. Well, I guess Moravis has been on their team for quite some time, but still
a little bit now. Yeah.
Yeah, just the fact that they're going to have a not consistent roster, but
yeah.
That can hinder you.
Well, and then but Trademark Esports is the interesting one too because we just honestly haven't seen them personally lately. Not that that's their fault. I mean, hell, they're in top 8 obviously in HoN Tour, which we'll talk about in just a second. But maybe I am just simply forgetting about them and how good they really are because that is a fantastic team, of course, themselves. So maybe there is a little bit of that amongst the reason why I maybe chose Q Squad. But hey, I'm going with Q Squad. I'm sticking to it. We'll see.
All right.
I'm not going to be bold enough to say I'm going to shave my head if they don't.
Well, that's because I'm right.
But you know what? We'll go ahead and I'll leave you to that. So, all right. So there you go. And there was actually just real quickly, we did do this. So I wanted to shout out a couple of bold. Speaking of bold predictions. Oh yeah. Oh, there's the results. There's that actually. The results. So actually, let's take a look at what the community did say. And look at that complexity. Shocker, shocker. 57% favorite by the community out of the 10 teams total. So that's pretty dominating. But then you have the other 4, Trademark, TT Esports, Q Squad, and Gary Johnson. That's a pretty even spread. Gary Johnson actually second amongst all those teams. So
yeah,
interesting stuff right there. But again, complexity seeing them on top. Can't say I'm too surprised about those results right there.
Yeah, I can't say I'm too surprised either. So it'll be a lot of fun. I mean, it's going to be a great, epic event at DreamHack.
Yep.
And the schedule, as I alluded to earlier, is supposed to be, and I've looked at it on paper, is going to be awesome for both us and the players as well. So it's going to be awesome.
It is. But as I was just about to say, though, our bold predictions and
excuse me.
That what we also had people do as well as voting in the polls was actually give their bold predictions. I just figured this would be kind of a fun thing where we'd have people tweet at HoNcast with #DHW bold, basically trying to make a bold prediction concerning DreamHack Winter. And there was a couple that I thought were worth shouting out here. One is from Adam. He's at Blizz BLISZ. He actually tweeted, TT Esports will win. Slicks will change the meta somewhat. Corrupted Disciple always seems to be on DreamHack, so he will be picked a lot. So kind of a couple of bold predictions there. As you're shaking your head, no, he's absolutely wrong. But hey, that's why it's a bold prediction.
Not that TT Esports. I'm shaking my head at the Corrupted Disciple part.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no.
He is kind of right. Corrupted Disciple does seem to pop up at DreamHacks quite a bit, so maybe.
I will say, actually, at DreamHack, I remember the finals, Slicks playing him, and he was a boss on that hero.
Yeah.
But he's a boss on whatever hero he plays.
That's
so.
true.
Yeah.
That's true. Another one from Frosty Skull. Domain of Pain will win it all.
Yeah.
That's a bold prediction. That's absolutely wrong. But another one, Dylan Armstead. So at Dylan Armstead, he tweeted here.
You mean
Profit.
Dylan?
Dylan's better. Profit will be picked as a semi-carry carry and not as a support and catch everyone off guard. That's somewhat bold. You don't think so?
No.
You think he's just more of a support?
No, it's too risky to throw all the carry on him. He farms very slowly and too easy to pick off.
Yeah.
So you don't want your carry hero or semi-carry having that much items or responsibility to farm that much and be that easy to kill.
Yeah.
That's why heroes like Dark Lady and Silhouette are so popular.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Those are just a couple of bold predictions there that were made by the community. So having some fun there. I think we've already given plenty of our bold predictions ourselves. So.
Yep.
Oh well, I did have
bold
one. I mean,
like our coffee.
Sure. Yes. You don't drink coffee.
I drink Red Bull.
I actually made a bold prediction. Berserker will not only be played at DreamHack Winter 2012, but he will win at least one match for a team. At least one match for a team. That is my bold prediction right there.
Okay.
I'm right, damn it.
Can I make a bold prediction?
Yes, of course.
Can I make one up on the fly?
Of course.
Hold on. Let me pull up the hero list really fast. 1 second, guys.
Oh, God. Okay,
Hero
just go to
list.
the random
No.
stupid hero.
Oh, yep, I got it. The Flint Tri-Lane shout out to 2011, will come back in great force with the Magnus and a Luna or Myrmidon, what have you. And it will own this jungle strat because you can actually, roam on the junglers with the point stun and follow up.
So that's how Complexity is going to lose in the grand finals.
Or how that's how they're going to win. Because they know the power of the Flint tri-lane.
Maybe. All right, so there you go,
You think
guys.
I'm joking? I'm not even joking, man.
We did see it lately, and you have been bringing that up a couple times. So there apparently is something going around out there concerning that trial lane. So, all right, so there you go. Having some fun there with the bold predictions. I'm sure that's something we may do in the future some more as well. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. And thank you again for those of you that did vote out there, and for future polls, definitely participate, and you too can get shout outs. So. All right, moving on. TT Esports, obviously one of the 10 teams there at DreamHack. We've already talked about them plenty. You kind of even mentioned this. Quick reiteration in case you haven't, if you weren't aware yet, Jeppins is officially replacing Riser at DreamHack Winter 2012. This announcement was made, I believe, less than a week ago even. It was very, very recent going into the event. Jeppins, of course, currently playing with Domain of Pain. He is still a part of Domain of Pain as far as HoN Tour goes, so to clarify that. But he happens to be playing with them at DreamHack Winter for this event. So how do you think this impacts things, Strelf?
I think it impacts things greatly, especially Riser. I'm going to go out and say it. I think all the members of that team are amazing. I will say, though, in general, Riser seems to be and have been their most consistent player since he's been on the roster. He's just a phenomenal player. Not only does he just dominate and is very consistent, but he can play a number of different roles. He can play carry. They just don't have him on it because it just works best to have Slicks play carry. He can play suicide. He can play jungle. He can play absolutely anything. And it's really hard on a team when you lose an asset like that. And not to say that Jeppins can't fill his shoes, but on top of just how great of a player Riser is and them losing him, just the team synergy it might not be there. But I will say, TT Esports has been scrimming a lot lately just to build up that team synergy with Jeppins. And hopefully they're able to get enough games in to where that's up to par.
Exactly. We can sit here and say hopefully all we want. We can sit here and say, it's possible. But in the end, will it realistically happen? Obviously, that's completely up to TT Esports, and it's going to be meeting up with each other at whenever they fly in. I think they're flying in on Friday or something like that. But whenever they get into Sweden, meeting up, starting the LAN environment going, and seeing how he fits in. Great player for sure. Again, it's obviously we've stated this many times. It's nothing against Jeppins by any means.
Sure.
It really is simply a case of the team synergy and how much that is going to affect them. And like I said in the predictions, even for the Group B at least, I think that is going to be a big part. Is why they perhaps may not advance on out of Group B. But hey, we'll see if I'm proven wrong there when it comes down to that. So again, Jeppins, obviously a great player, still is part of Domain of Pain, but will be playing for TT Esports at DreamHack Winter 2012. And a quick note on that before we move on. Actually, it was very interesting, but it just so happens the last 3 DreamHacks, the previous now with this one, so TT Esports, this one, the last one, and then before that when they were known as Frey, they've had last-minute changes.
Yeah.
For those that may remember, 2 DreamHacks ago, the last DreamHack Winter, Bobo actually couldn't make it last minute. He was replaced by Snoopy going into the event. The previous one, WTF, had a last-minute issue, and so My Nuts actually had to replace him. And then, of course, we had Jeppins now this time replacing Riser here as far as this event.
Your Nuts replaced him?
I try
My
so
Nuts
hard.
will always win. My Nuts will
so
always
hard.
win.
Damn it! I try so hard.
He will always win.
You just can never win that battle. That's
Damn, your Nuts did pretty well.
My nuts played very well at DreamHack summer.
Oh man,
so immature here. So yeah. Anyways, that was I thought a kind of a fun fact, even coincidence, really, for them. So.
Yeah,
in a sense, unfortunate even. I don't even know why I said fun, but so yeah. Trout, you've played with My Nuts before.
Oh my God, can I leave?
Killer Orange put me up to that.
I'm done.
This show is done. The show is done. All right, enough about that topic though. Let's move on before we get too out of hand here. So moving down the line, obviously with HoN Tour now. So we talked plenty about DreamHack. HoN Tour is still going on. And the qualifiers, that is. And, of course, there was a couple of matchups that we wanted to talk about going into what's supposed to be taking place this Thursday, actually. And, in fact, I was going to pull it up right here. So there's, of course, 8 teams left in the winners bracket. There's 16 teams left in the losers bracket, so we have 24 teams total. Now, we'll start with the winners bracket, just quickly glance at each matchup here. The first one, and one that we may very likely end up casting, by the way, but Vitriolic Gaming is going to be playing Domain of Pain here in the first bracket. And as you can kind of see, actually, this is a big shout out to Mega Beaver. He actually made this post, and sure enough, we're using it here.
Yeah.
As far as kind of some organizing and making it very easy to see. Vitriolic versus Domain of Pain, though. This is a fun matchup. I'll be the first to admit, going into this event, I didn't really expect anything out of Vitriolic. I didn't even know if they were going to make a diamond.
Sure.
But honestly, they've been very impressive. They've had some great results, and here they are. And, well, obviously they're guaranteed diamond now, playing Domain of Pain here in the round of 8.
I will say that both teams have been preparing mentally. They've been, researching, seeing what the other team does. At least I know that Domain of Pain has been researching on VTRL and seeing what they do. Apparently, they like to run a lot of Sand Wraith. Of course, we don't know what we haven't seen them. I haven't seen them really scrim or play matches just yet. But apparently, they know a little bit about what they do. And there's a fun story in that, too, because obviously Bryce or Emperor did used to play with them. In the, I think it was the Redemption Tournament is when he last was playing with them.
That's right,
so it's just a fun fact.
That is right. That's good. Great. Actually, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, very good point. With Emperor formerly being even Vitriolic and playing with their players. So that's going to be a fun matchup. Like I said, very possibly a matchup that we will be covering this Thursday as the 3 that stand out of the 4 total. The next one down the line is actually another very good one, and sure enough, they're going to be even playing at DreamHack, of course. Q Squad taking on TT Esports. That, no doubt, is actually a very good matchup there. I want to say the last time that they actually played was in the DreamHack Redemption Tournament, where Q Squad lost to TT Esports, I believe, and they finished 4th as a result. TT Esports ended up finishing 3rd. So I think that might have been the last time that they officially played. But that's a big matchup. Again, both teams going to be in Group B at DreamHack winner.
Yeah, I know that matchup's going to be very fun to watch. And I don't know what it was or what moment it was where I just decided that Q Squad seemed to be the more seasoned team and just a little bit stronger team. I don't know what it was, but for some reason I still favor Q Squad. I think that they're going to do a little bit better and take that over TT Esports.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll see. Of course, in that matchup, though, Riser will be playing. Of
course.
With or at least I believe so. I mean, I don't see why not. In fact, Jumpins isn't on their HoN Tour roster, so yeah, that wouldn't make any sense. So yeah, there we go. Next matchup, Trademark Esports actually playing Pikachu. That's another fun matchup there. Trademark Esports, of course, fantastic team right now, one of the best out there. Going up against Pikachu. This is, again, kind of one of these other teams where we knew they were a good team. I kind of felt like they were going to be on the teeter-totter of whether or not they made Diamond or maybe made Gold to start. They're obviously making Diamond here. We'll see if they give Trademark a run for the money. Yeah,
and Pikachu seems to be one of those teams that tries a lot of different things. Like, they mess with the metagame. They try different strategies. I will say more times than not, it just seems like it doesn't work that well. But they have the talent there. And but they're taking on Trademark Esports. I do favor Trademark Esports for sure to win that matchup. Yeah, in short.
All right. Gary Johnson 2012 versus Lion Esports is the final matchup of the winners bracket round of 8. And Lion Esports, man, I actually had the chance to cast them yesterday.
Yeah, I was.
Shout out to Beef Pot Pie. Obviously, you actually got it. You casted him first against the previous team. That's when they played Gary Johnson, actually. And then I got to cast the Complexity against Lion. Lion looked great in that series, man. They ended up beating Complexity. Again, it's a scrimmage and only means so much, but Lions did look very good.
I don't know what it is about this team. I know they're using different roster now, but they seem to play way differently for whatever reason in scrims than they do matches. Maybe they get like scared or nervous, or I'm not sure, but when they played, like I was watching that scrim between Complexity and Complexity. I will say when they lose scrims, generally when I look at why they lost scrims, it's because the lineup is a little quirky and weird. Yeah. Like they pick something different, they're trying something. That's awesome. I mean, you should be picking different stuff in scrims and trying them out, like Nova was talking about earlier. But their lineup was solid. Like they had a very solid lineup. It was something standard that we'd see normally in a match. And Lions, not to say they dominated that game, but they looked very convincing. Yeah. And they just seem like a way different team in scrims. If they're able to transfer that skill to these matches, they could really make teams have a run for their money. Yeah. But that being said, I still feel like in a best-of-3 situation, I do favor Gary Johnson.
Yeah. If it wasn't for that scrimmage yesterday, I would be saying hands down Gary Johnson. But I really think Lions...
They looked pretty damn good.
They did look pretty damn good. So... let's just, I guess I still got to favor Gary Johnson, but Lions, it wouldn't surprise me if they do pull up an upset there. I think you can safely even call it. So, again, all those teams, no matter what happens, are in Diamond. It's just a case at this point they're playing for both seeding, which is very important going into the first cycle, and then, of course, prize pool. More prize pools, a $10,000 prize pool on the line. So, so that's the winner's bracket, and, you know, kind of a preview right there. The loser's bracket, there's still 16 teams left, of course, so we figure we go ahead and take a look at least a couple of standout matches here from the round of 16. And the first one being, well, mainly for the one team, Complexity. Yes, again, they started from the loser's bracket basically because of that situation right off the bat where they had a forfeit. So they've been grinding their way through the loser's bracket. They've had to play twice as many matches as a result. But here they are matched up against Arena Online Esports, who actually has, you know, looked fairly good throughout this event so far. But Complexity, I find it hard to believe that they would drop here because, again, these teams have not guaranteed Diamond yet. If they lose in this round, they're actually going to Gold. And if they win, then they will be Diamond. So
okay, so it's not for sure then yet.
It's not for sure yet with Complexity. They still could make Gold.
I want to check out this Arena. I'm going to pull up their roster really fast.
Oh, yeah.
And see exactly who's on that. It's Arena Online Esports.
Correct.
Okay, because I feel like I remember. Yeah, Jagged is. I believe that's Rape. I believe that's his name, and he was on the team with, I want to say a long time ago, with INFS and a couple other different teams. But anyway. He's a solid player, and he actually I think was playing for another team in Destination DreamHack as a ringer. He was like a 6th or 7th man, and I remember us mentioning that. But yeah, I mean this isn't a bad team. So Complexity's obviously I favor them, but they can't be lazy.
It is getting to a point exactly where, you know, the last thing you want to do is underestimate. Again, this is for Diamond here,
especially in the losers bracket.
Yes, this is for Diamond. You lose here, you're going to Gold. And again, that's not the end of the world by any means, but you don't want to start Gold, especially if you're Complexity. You want to get as much of an advantage as you can from the beginning, as all these top-tier teams do. So that'll be a fun matchup. Another one that was kind of stand out a little bit was actually One Trick Pony versus Prestigious here. And One Trick Pony, of course, we've actually covered them. That's Archie Tiger and their team. I mean, they definitely look like a solid team. Of course, they even beat Pudge in one game. They ended up losing the series, but they played them very well. Prestigious, on the other hand, they actually defeated Pudge, as well as even earlier in the tournament they took out ISO Paulette. So this is a team we don't know much about.
I don't know anything about.
Exactly, but they're on the teeter-totter of making Diamond.
Sure.
We're going to need to start learning a lot more about them, that's for sure. So
yeah, I don't know much about them. I'm excited to see them. And OTP or One Trick, I just like saying OTP. I think it sounds so cool. OTP.
It does.
They looked really good in that one game that we cast, of course, against Pudge. But they came out with that very interesting. At first, it was kind of quirky because they had the farm on Luna and a Luna Hammerstorm mid dual lane. But oh my God, did they rape face that game? I mean, there's no other way to put it.
Prastuki, and actually on that note, Prastuki, their new name is UV Gaming. That's what matters. They actually just got picked up by a sponsorship, so thank God for that, by the way. Obviously, I struggle with that name, so congratulations for them. In fact, it's on HoNTour.com. It's the most recent breaking news article. They just got picked up by Ultraviolet Gaming, which is, I guess, a gaming organization that's around. And it's always good just to see more organizations and more sponsors. So that's good for them. That roster consists of NDK, Creepburn, Fa, Bap, Z Farmer, and Carry for Life. So recognize any of those names, but there you go. A team again that they're just on the edge here of making Diamond. So we'll see how they compete against One Trick Pony. Another great matchup: Pudge versus Call It Karma. Again, these are two teams. Pudge, I'm a little bit surprised to see them here in the losers bracket, but again, they lost to now known as UV Gaming. A little bit unfortunate for them, but they get a chance for a little bit of revenge. But Call It Karma, that's got to be a tough opponent for them. So we'll see how that goes.
I definitely give the edge to Pudge right there, but we'll see.
Better Looking Than You versus Fuck You Curdy. That's the last matchup that I thought kind of stood out there in the losers bracket. Again, two teams. Wouldn't be surprised to see in the Diamond Division, but only one of them are going to make it as a result of this. So will it be FYKU? Will it be Fit? Who do you think?
I got to give the edge to Fit on that one. And also one thing to note, too, is I don't know if he is for sure like they're one of their starting 5, but Fresh Pro is playing on that lineup.
I heard about that.
Yeah,
I did hear about that. I don't know if I don't think he's like their starting 5. But
that's why
I think he's like on the roster, and like if they maybe need him, he's there. But that would be fun to have Fresh Pro back on the scene for sure. So, interested to hear more about that. But anyways, there you go. That's just kind of a preview of a couple of matchups that are coming up here with HoN Tour with HoN Tour. Again, that starts Thursday is when those matches are supposed to be played. We'll be covering a losers bracket and a winners bracket matchup, so stay tuned for information on that. And that coverage starts actually at 12 p.m. Eastern? Yeah, 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. That's 1800 Central European Time. Again, that's coming at you Thursday. So, whew, all right there. There you go, guys. So that's the rundown for you. Obviously, we still got a little bit more to come, but we are going to take a quick break here. Hopefully, you guys have enjoyed it so far. Stay tuned, though. There's plenty coming up, including top 5 plays of the week, as well as this guy's segment, the Trowel Seal of Approval. Stay tuned, guys. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So taking a look at some scores right there from, of course, this past weekend. That was, I believe, from the round of 16 in the winners bracket. So in case you didn't miss any of those matchups, there you go. Some scores and some player stats even. It's always fun looking at those and seeing how not only some teams did, but even some players there. So
big shout out to Cheese Helmet, bringing in and standing in for Domain of Pain.
I gotta say, that's Heimer, right?
Heimer, yes.
Heimer, yes.
And I gotta say that I do approve of your idea. I have pitched it to the S2 staff as far as your construction worker behemoth alt avatar idea.
Construction worker behemoth, really?
Yeah, I think it'd be awesome.
That actually would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool. So, yeah, big shout out to him, of course, playing for Domain of Pain. I believe he's playing in place of Emperor, actually. Wasn't there for that game. So, but he still won, as you saw, 2 games to nothing. So, anyways, welcome back. And obviously, as I did promise you guys, well, we got a fun segment right here. This is every single week. Hence, we got our top 5 plays of the week coming at you. Let's take a look. Play number 5. As you can see on your screen right here, we got Mizaru, and the important thing to note about this, Mizaru, he's actually playing both Tempest and Engineer. One of the players ended up leaving the game. He ends up controlling both heroes, and you see a team fight coming together. Tempest jumps in, Engineer with the energy field to follow, and everything just dies. Great sound effect. There you go. That's play number 5 right there. Well coordinated, and Tempest just chilling out after the play.
I thought the Flux thing before that was awesome. Chip Meister is actually playing the Bubbles right here, and is going to be doing some juking and jiving, obviously Swiftblade. He's trying to get that ultimate. Oh, the Fade to Black, the Fade to Black, and actually use the Shell Surf to juke him just a little bit more. And he's just laughing at him. Look at him, just laughing like, ha 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 ha. And Swift dies. Here's just another point of view. Oh, no, he tries it once to take cover. Tries it again to Fade to Black. Fancy footwork. The Bubbles gets him away and gets the last laugh.
Swift slashes, man. I've never... that sucks, being in that position, Fade to Black. So, Jolem right here. This is actually pretty entertaining stuff. You see the Jolem, those are not 3 more axes in one game. Those are actually illusions. And look at what he does on Bubbles right here. He ends up blocking in Bubbles with his own illusions. The fat asses get in the way. Bubbles is in panic mode right here. He doesn't have a shell surf up at the last second. Shell surf away. Nope, it's not going to happen. Jolem making the big plays right there. Now play number 3.
Number 2, it's C. Vane is actually doing a little bit of body blocking with those Tempest Elementals in addition to attacking massive damage onto the Pyromancer, and he couldn't stand a chance.
Great mic ring right there.
Yeah.
Fantastic play. Leon Black coming to play number 1 right here, playing the Vindicator. And look at the juking and jiving right there. Dodging, talk about sidestep king of the house, making some big plays right there. It is still a 3 versus 1. Somehow juking this team right here. You see some help coming from War Beast. And, oh, is he going to die right here? Oh, my God, he might actually die. Wait, never mind. He's going to barely get away. Voodoo Jester falling. And, yes, he turns it around onto Pebbles. Leon Black making some big plays right there with the sidesteps. And eventually turns it around. Play number 1 goes to Leon Black. Congratulations to him.
Yeah, and I got to say big shout out to Enzo. Of course, all you guys crying in the chat, but he actually made a pretty big play too. But unfortunately, it wasn't submitted in time. This was already made before that. But yeah. I don't know if you guys saw that, but that was a really cool.
Oh, the Enzo, the sidestep king. He has his own video for himself. Okay. Yeah, no, I actually tweeted that. I think it was yesterday. I saw that myself. Oh my God, that would be number 1 play like for time to come. That was really a big play. So
I don't know.
That was pretty much the best play ever, right, Trout?
No,
better than any play you've ever made.
No. You guys got to see my Gladiator play. The Musketeer.
The Musketeer Gladiator. That's a great skin, by the way. It's I like the pitfall where they like jump up out of the. Yeah. Top 5 plays. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Now, actually, as you saw right there, I mean, again, you know, we're doing what we can as far as submissions go. We're not getting a lot of them. So we do ask that you do your part, guys. We'll take HoN Tour matches where we're trying to prioritize on it being actually HoN Tour matches. But, you know, if you made a big play in a TMM or whatever and it just is that huge, we'll definitely look to fit it in. Submit your plays to honcasttop5@gmail.com. honcasttop5@gmail.com. Remember that. Submit your big plays to that, your match ID, the description. And you know, make sure it happened within the last week, last couple of days even. So we are working on getting an actual form set up and everything to make it a lot easier for you guys. But for now, honcasttop5@gmail.com. You're pulling it up yourself. So
yep. I have like 17,000 different ones.
All these IDs that you've saved on your computer.
Yep.
All for this moment, Trelf.
Yep.
It's going to be top 10 plays by Trelf.
Of course.
There you go. So top 5 plays coming at you again. honcast.5@gmail.com. Send in your plays. So there you go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. A lot of fun as always. Not too much left to go over here, but we do actually got a Yeah. You know what? Last week we talked about jungling, and I became a better jungler as a result of
Did you now?
your seal of approval. I had some fun. I jungled some war beasts, jungled some parasite.
Did you make sure to not kill the creeps inside their camp?
I forgot that a couple times, and
You're a goddamn noob.
And you know what? But I worked on it, and eventually I was playing at 1950 and owning games.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing? Now this week, though, you know what? But I realized as I was queuing up at 1950, I was picking like Soul Stealer and Wretched Hag and stuff, and I was like, you know what? I'm a great jungler now. I want to become a little bit better at 1v1 though. I mean, I'm good. I'm like 1900.
Okay.
But I want to be 1950,
very
2000 1v1. So, and I figure, you know what? Who better to ask than yourself, Trev? So,
well, I get that all the time, Breaky. Yeah. And I decided to do a segment on 1v1 mid matchups, talking about mid matchups, talking about how to get away from those ganks, what your general role in the game is. And I gotta say, before we go into this, big shout out to Moon Meander. So let's go ahead and take a look. Hey guys, it's Tralf. In this week's Seal of Approval, we're going to be talking a little bit about 1v1 matchups in mid. 1v1 seems to be one of the most crucial things in HoN right now, and there's a couple of key points to go over. Of course, your hero matchup, possibility of ganks coming to you, what your general role as a hero in the game is, and finally rune control. All of that in a little bit more detail. For the sake of this segment, let's go ahead and assume that both players in mid have an equal amount of skill.
For example, an Arachna should be able to beat a Thunderbringer every single time if the player's skills is equal, but obviously, a professional player might be able to win as a Thunderbringer against an opponent who is not nearly as good as him. One of the most important mental notes to make before going into mid is whether or not you should win the lane. It's important to know this because it dictates how you play your lane. For instance, if you're soloing mid as Fade against an Arachna, it's safe to assume you're not supposed to win the lane. Arachna's web shot and high base damage makes it almost impossible for most melee heroes to win the lane. If you go into the lane with this mindset, then you can think about other things like ganking, but the most important thing is having the peace of mind that you're not supposed to win. So let's have a mini quiz, if you will. The following is a list of 1v1 matchups, and I want you to look at them and think about who's supposed to win in each matchup. At the end of this segment, we'll go back and look at who I think wins each matchup. Soulstealer versus Hag. Soulstealer has high damage with his souls and damage from his demon hands, but Wretched Hag has rune control with Blink and utility between her Sonar Scream and Haunt. Aluna versus Nomad. Aluna has high base damage and the ability to spam her power throw, but with the recent change to Nomad's passive and his ability to spam high damage with his Mirage's Strike, Nomad is a force to be reckoned with in mid now. Silhouette versus Electrician. Silhouette is one of the best heroes against melees, but Electrician is extremely tanky and very difficult for any hero to take down. Devo versus Witchslayer. Devourer's hook into tower seems like an auto win in most situations, but Witchslayer has a number of disables on top of an ult that does massive damage. And finally, Chipper versus Behemoth. It's pretty obvious here, folks, Behemoth is overpowered. Determining what your role is in the overall game can help dictate how you play your lane. If you're playing a ganker like Fade, getting CS isn't the most important thing in the world, because while farm is always great, gankers need levels more than farm. In competitive HoN, it's not uncommon for your solo to also face off against two heroes in mid. This can be frustrating, but it's important to know that you're not supposed to win your lane. The best thing for you to do in any 1v2 situation is to absorb as much experience as possible. Melee strength heroes are arguably the best for this kind of situation, because they're harder to kill, have higher HP regen, can use the hatchet to CS from afar, and gain more experience even if your enemies are hard denying. This is very similar to playing a suicide role. Your main goal is to soak up experience and not die. Yes, the heroes you are against are probably getting every single last hit, but that's expected. Be patient and trust that the rest of your team will pick up your slack. Obviously, if you're getting dual lane mid, your other lanes should be having a much easier time. Wouldn't it all be scented candles and flowers if you could solo mid 1v1 and not have to worry about any other kind of ganks coming your way? This simply will never be the case. Teams are always looking for an edge, and ganking your opponent in mid is one of the easiest ways to do so. The single most difficult thing about soloing mid is CSing your lane and at the same time constantly looking around at possible ganks coming your way. As a mid player, you have to factor in a lot of different things. Is someone missing from their lane? Are they running an aggressive jungler like Parasite or Ophelia? Does someone have a rune that I have no vision of? Let's take a look at two different situations and how your positioning could determine the success of your mid lane. In this matchup, we have a Soulstealer versus an Aluna. Already, Aluna has a bit of an advantage over Soulstealer because of her high base damage and the ability to spam early on. There is also a Parasite picked in this game, and that should signal a red flag to Soulstealer, because more times than not, Parasite is going to look for opportunities to gank mid, especially on a Soulstealer because he is very susceptible to ganks. Right here, we see Parasite coming in for a gank, and because Soulstealer was playing mid as though it was just a straight up 1v1 with no contention, he is caught out of position, thus resulting in his death. Here, however, we see the same gank coming out from Parasite, except the Soulstealer has improved his positioning. He is standing in a place where he can still CS safely, but in an area where it's very difficult for Parasite to effectively gank him. This is just one of the things a mid player has to think about actively while he's farming mid. What items to buy? On melee heroes, if you know you're going against a ranged hero in mid, 99% of the time you want a shield, hatchet, and Rune of the Blight. The shield mitigates so much auto attack damage from ranged heroes, and coupled with the hatchet, it means you'll be getting close to uncontested free farm while taking very little damage. The plus damage on hatchet also helps towards denies, making it very easy to eliminate farm for the opponent. On ranged heroes, generally speaking, if you're going mid, you want to build for items that give you a bit of regen, a bit of stats, but you're primarily looking towards a fast bottle before the 2-minute rune spawns. You don't want to go bottle first item, because what usually ends up happening is you will spam whatever spells you have, and you will only be regenerating the small amount of mana from those bottle charges, which is very inefficient for an item that costs 600 gold. So for a ranged intelligence hero like Hag, good starting items might be something like 1 set of tangos, 2 branches, and a mantle of intelligence. This is going to leave you at just below 300 gold, but still gives you decent stats for last hitting and spamming, and a little bit of regen so you're not forced out of the lane early. You can also build those items into something so that they're not wasted, such as building into a power supply and maybe a grave locket. Rune control is another key to succeeding in a 1v1 matchup in the middle lane. In competitive games, normally you will get a little bit of help from your supports or junglers, but even then, it's important to push out your lane prior to a rune spawning. You will often see heroes like Soulstealer or Bubbles auto-attack the wave at around the 50-second mark. This is because they're trying to push the lane to the enemy's tower, so that they will have to make the choice: lose experience and farm to get the rune, or concede the rune to kill the creeps that are pushing up to their tower. In this example, even though the rune spawned in favor of Jeremiah, Bubbles pushed out the wave so that Jeremiah missed out on all of that farm and experience. Now here are the answers to the hero matchup quiz we had earlier. Remember, we're assuming that both players have an equal skill level, and keep in mind, in a real competitive match, other things are factored in, such as quote-unquote lucky runes, ganks, etc. Aluna versus Nomad. Aluna wins. As I mentioned before, Nomad may not have a difficult time in getting CS, but if an Aluna plays the lane correctly, she should be ultra aggressive and spamming auto attacks and power throws so often that Nomad can no longer CS safely. Silhouette versus Electrician. Silhouette wins. Electrician is very tanky, but similar to the last example, Silhouette can pound auto attacks in to the point where Electrician just simply can't lane anymore. On top of that, it's smart as a Silhouette to max your Death Lotus ability, a melee hero, because it does guaranteed passive damage to the opponent that comes near her, as well as the activated ability, which does even more damage, on top of the procs that she gets from her Relentless Salvo. Devo versus Witch. This is a really interesting matchup. I've said over and over and over that no matter what the matchup is, Devourer always has the ability to win the lane. A lucky hook into the tower can kill any hero, regardless of how uneven the matchup might seem. That being said, I actually favor Witch Slayer in this matchup. The fact that his spells cost relatively low mana early on in the game makes it easy to not only spam them for damage and last hitting, but also as a defensive tool, just in case you get hooked. A good Witch Slayer will keep Devourer's HP low enough that by the time Witch hits level 6, it makes it for a very easy kill. Soulstealer versus Hag. Soulstealer wins. His demon hands alone make it ridiculously hard to compete with him. He doesn't even have to worry about last hitting with CS. He can simply spam from far away and keep himself at a safe distance. Behe versus Chipper. Obviously, Behemoth is overpowered and wins this matchup, no question.
So there you have it, guys. Those are some tricks and tips about how to become a better 1v1 player in mid. Of course, understanding your hero matchup, watching out for the possibility of ganks, understanding your overall role in the game, and then finally utilizing runes to your advantage. You do those things, you'll earn my seal of approval.
There you go, guys. There you go. Some 1 versus 1 masterpiece there on how to become a better player and how to earn your Trout seal of approval. So let me go ahead and move this down here. Oh, screen. There we go.
Yep. All those things and more.
Yeah. All those things and more. Yes. No, the Chipper versus Behemoth. That was the matchup that I was very intrigued to see the answer.
Someone you had the hardest time with.
Yes, I wasn't sure.
It's hard to beat a Behemoth.
No, I was the Behemoth.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, then you just suck. I mean, how could you lose that one?
Oh, jeez. Yeah, no, so obviously, fun segment there, and I'm sure you guys, well, hopefully at least took something from it, learned something from it. Hey, if anything, just were entertained by it. So it just seemed like a lot of guys were laughing ourselves with it. So some fun stuff, and again, a weekly thing that we plan to do here on the HoN Tour Weekly. After all, the Trout seal of approval. So from jungling to 1 versus 1. You have anything in mind of what you're going to do next? I mean,
I don't have anything in mind right now. I already thought when I did the jungling segment I wanted to do a 1v1. In fact, that was my original plan, but jungling just seems to be a little bit better for the first time. So if you guys have any ideas, make sure to shout them out to me at my Facebook or Twitter or what have you.
Yeah, so yeah, do that definitely at Trelfon. Go find him.
Oh, bam! Right in your face.
Snap. Wait, that was me.
Can I do that? Can I do that again? Are you ready?
Whew!
Oh, you juked me. All right, one more time. Ready?
One more time.
And boom. Yes.
Hold on, over here. Over here. There we go. Line it up a little bit better. All right. Yes, our production is getting amazing here at HoNcast, as you can see. No, so again, with HoN Tour Weekly, by the way, just a quick note, obviously with DreamHack Winter coming up next week, we are going to be taking the week off for good reason. We have a huge-ass event over there. So we're going to be covering that event, and we'll have more information as far as, what the broadcasting schedule looks for that definitely down the line again. With our Twitters and Facebooks and everything, tune into all that, as well as the site itself, honcast.com. There's one more thing that we wanted to go over, though. In fact, we forgot to mention this earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Well, first off, you know what we'll do? We'll go over last week's winner. So for those that may not have tuned into our previous show, our debut show even, for HoN Tour Weekly, we actually did a giveaway. Thanks to Trademark Esports and their sponsor, Razer. Actually, we gave away a couple of products, some headphones, some mouse pads. Well, we haven't given them away just yet, but we're actually going to announce the winners here. The point of the contest, or how the contest worked, was actually you guys went to our Facebook page. There was a picture that was posted of beautiful Breaking CPK. There you go. Yes, me on an everyday basis. Go to the store. No, but so you guys had your fun, made your captions, and very popular actually. So, and we chose a couple of winners. Now what you guys did win again, a couple of Razer products here. Oh, so okay. There was, as you can see on your screen, the Megasoma. There's the mouse pad, pretty sweet ass mouse pad right there, and then the Megalodon. I love these names, man, that they're coming out with. Megalodon, especially when you say it like that. Makes it that much sweeter. So those are the two prizes that we're going to be giving away. Again, shout out to Razer and Trademark Esports. Yeah. The winners that actually are going to be taking home those prize pools. Again, a lot of submissions were happening. We just kind of went through and chose ones that just simply made us laugh. The first one, Gustav Levinson. He sent in. Oh no, this wasn't Gustav. This was Jerome Ballesteros. Actually, he sent in this submission, but there you go. Talk about some effort, man.
Yeah.
I'm loving this new item. +5.
Shopping cart. Value 1337. That's awesome.
This guy went through some effort. He deserves even more. It really does. I mean, big shout out to this guy. Again, his name being Jerome Ballesteros. Great name to say.
I like how you put the accent on it.
Ballesteros. So yeah, there we go. I like just the +5 movement speed.
I know.
That seems like it should be more than +5.
Nah, that's
like
pretty accurate.
All right, and then the other winner, Gustav Levinson, sending in his submission. So I found this actually to be pretty entertaining. No time to explain, Trop. Get in the basket. I could just imagine myself doing that, I guess.
Oh God.
Yeah. So there you go. There you go. Those are the fun captions that we had right there. There was plenty more that we definitely went through. Again, there was a lot of submissions. Big shout out to you guys. Had some fun. Hopefully you guys did. I'm sure you did. As far as that goes. Now, so congratulations to those winners right there. Now, as far as this week, we actually want to do another giveaway. Now, Q Squad, of course, being our team spotlight, they didn't have any sponsors actually to do a giveaway. So we're actually going to be doing our own giveaway here. There's this. This is actually, well, it's a HoN box, as you can see. It's I guess we can call it a special edition HoN box. Their limited edition golden package is the official name. It's actually pretty badass, if you can see it on the screen. And what it is, take this out. It's a very nice. You got this little box right here, a box in a box. Imagine that. You open it up, and there's actually, what are these avatars in here? There's 4 different avatars, I believe, that you can actually get. It gives you the access code to them, and then you can, get them on your account. So there's Sachi Swiftblade. You got Forsaken Strider. You got the Legend. No, that's not Valkyrie. That is that's the Leprechaun Blacksmith. That's a fun one. Gladius Beardicus. Golden Pebbles.
That's the best one.
Golden Pebbles, you think?
I like that
Golden
one.
Pebbles is pretty badass. And then Legendary Valkyrie. So there's actually 6 avatars in here that you guys will get access to, as well as just honestly, you put this on your book stand or whatever. I mean, it's pretty badass. It really is. Yeah. So we're going to be giving this away here on our desk. There we go. No. Anyways, we're going to be giving one of these away now for this week. Again, it's going to be another caption contest, but obviously a different picture. And well, let's just say it's Tralf's turn. So.
Oh no.
Go ahead and take a look at the picture right here on what you guys You have to have fun with that, guys. Come on.
I like how my shoelaces are just hanging out.
This is Trout every day. You know what you see here on stream. What you see here on stream, you know, is one thing. Obviously, we're looking nice, but you know, literally, that's what he wears into work. So there you go. Killer Orange?
Yeah. So actually, Brad asked me, was this picture taken on a Saturday or Sunday, or was it during the week? And I said, there's not enough evidence to figure that out.
Exactly. You know, we can't tell. I mean, every day pretty much. So, living life easy. There you go.
Yeah.
Anything to say for yourself?
Easy breezy cover. I don't know. I don't know.
Here. Oh, that's gonna be fun,
YOLO.
man.
That's all I'm
yes. So you guys, that is swag indeed. So. You guys are going to have fun. We're going to be posting that right after the show, of course, on our Facebook. You go to our HoNcast Facebook, facebook.com/HoNcast, and you'll be able to leave your comments in whether, you know, the caption you like or you think it's funny, or also even make the picture yourself and then with the caption on it as we showed you. So whichever way, you know, we'll look at the submissions and we'll go from there. So congratulations to last week's winners. We're going to getting in one more winner this week, maybe even multiple, depending on how good they are. We'll see. So there you go. Have some fun. At our expense.
Yeah, definitely.
Your expense.
Thanks. At my expense, yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. It was a lot of fun. If you enjoyed it, make sure to let us know and let us know what we could improve on as well. But yeah, it's been a fun segment today here.
It has been. It's been a fun show, just like last week. And again, these are pretty awesome to do. They really are. You know, again, it's obviously it's a different pace than our normal casting with the shoutcasts. As fun as those are themselves, it's a different pace. It's a different style of thing that we got going here, and you know, it's gonna be fun doing this every week. And as time goes on, you know, adding more features, I'm sure, changing things up, and more to come, and hell, even more shows perhaps. We'll see.
Yeah,
maybe. But yeah, so. A lot of fun as always. Going to start wrapping things up here, those ladies and gentlemen. Before we do, again, let's take a quick reminder here as far as what's going to be coming up on HoNcast. So again, tomorrow we do have the day off, so you know, take it easy. Enjoy watching player streams. Play Heroes of New Earth yourself. You know, have some fun. Next, this on Thursday though, the following day. We're going to be coming back at you. Losers bracket will start at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Pacific, or 12 p.m. Eastern. 1800 Central European Time. That will be a losers bracket match for HoN Tour. Then 3.5 hours of that. After that, we got the winners bracket round of 8 going to be happening. So another doubleheader continuing Thursday and going on from there. It's going to be a blast, Trove.
It's going to be awesome, guys. Make sure you stay tuned there. And I'll go ahead and start this off. You can follow. I'll be conceited. You can follow me at TrowfHon and this guy at BreakyCPK for our Twitters. And make sure to do so.
Yes, definitely do so. We have some fun with that. Of course, at HoNcast as well, on the Facebook for HoNcast, not only for the competition, but just for a lot of updates. As I mentioned, especially going into next week with DreamHack, guys, it is so close, man. You can just feel it. Really, a week from today, we'll be in Sweden and getting things started even. So it's going to be fun. And again, a quick note on that. There will be no HoN Tour Weekly next week. As fun as we're having with this, we obviously have a lot of work to do, a lot of preparation and everything for DreamHack. So we'll be over there in Sweden. Well, we'll be at Sweden for that matter, yeah. So, obviously we're gonna have plenty of coverage when it comes to DreamHack. You want to say something?
Nope.
Like you want to say something? Okay.
Nope.
Well, with that said, guys, actually, there's one thing I remembered, and I'd get chewed out if I forgot this. There was one thing to bring up here, actually, something that you can do. Where did it go? I closed it. Anyways, it's actually a competition that's going around. It's a case of if you both like the Facebook for Heroes of New Earth. So if you go to facebook.com/Heroes of New Earth, you could actually. Oh, here it is. I pulled up the article. There we go. So you can get a couple of free things here from S2 Games from Heroes of New Earth. So there's one or two things you can do. You go to facebook.com/Heroes of New Earth. You like the page. And then you just go ahead and download this King Animus app, and it actually fills out the information for you, and you actually get the King Animus skin on your account. So that's an alt avatar for Solstice, actually.
Yeah.
I hear he's a popular hero. And
I
doing
think
very
he needs
well.
some buffs, though. Not quite strong enough.
I think he needs some changes. We'll talk to Doc Guys right after this.
Yeah.
We'll look into it, guys. Don't worry. And so there's that way, and then there's also youtube.com/S2 Games. If you go there and then subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/S2 Games, you can actually win a Caterpillar Courier. There's a lot of couriers in the game. That's actually underrated in my opinion. I mean, there's a lot of couriers.
Those couriers are overpowered.
Those
man.
couriers, man. Those hamsters and
BreakyCPK
UFOs.
cards.
No. The sad thing is that actually has been thrown around ever since we sent that picture out.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. I can only imagine. Well, there you go. There you go. So youtube.com/S2Games. Again, go ahead and subscribe there and get your chance to win a Caterpillar Courier. So couple of skins that you guys can win for yourselves with the Facebook for Heroes of New Earth and youtube.com/S2Games, I believe. So there you go, as you can see on your screen. So that's kind of an idea of what you have a chance at winning. So getting some fun stuff there.
Yeah.
Do that for yourself. It's very easy, very quick, very little effort, and you get free stuff. What's wrong with that?
Nothing. Nothing.
Exactly. Exactly, Trelf. All right, with that said, though, now we can officially start wrapping things up here. So once again, had a lot of fun as always. Hopefully you guys did. This will be on VOD as soon as possible, as well as the top 5 segments, as well as our Trelf Seal of Approval segments. You know, you can watch those separately and whatnot. Any final words from you, Trelf?
I got nothing. Just good luck, have fun to all the teams competing in HoN Tour, and specifically DreamHack winner 2012 swag.
Oh my gosh. Next week, guys, it all begins. DreamHack Winter will be in Jönköping, Sweden. It's going to be a blast. It really is. From interviews to the matches themselves to the events of the grand finals. Oh my God, it's going to be epic. Until Thursday, we're HoN Tour coverage. We'll see you then. I was Breaking CBK. Joining me was Ralph Medor. Shout out to Killer Orange back there. And shout out to you for tuning in. Have a good night, guys.
Just want to have a talk.